Hello, welcome back to another episode of P&M's Movie Criticisms. I'm Miss M. Okay, and where's Miss P? She's doing her thing. We're working on covering as many movies as possible. Send her some positive energy vibes as she works through her tech issues. Anyways, let's get this party started. Today we are reviewing Odyssey. Yeah, Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Yes, Christopher put a lot of work into this film. I think this is solid writing. I really do. But let's talk about Odyssey. I mean, if you know Odyssey, you know that the Odyssey is a part of Greek mythology and comes from the Greek historian Homer. Okay, and here's a little synopsis. After the Trojan War, Odysseus faces a dangerous voyage back to Ithaca, meeting creatures like Cyclops, Polyphemus, sirens, and Calypso along the way. I mean, if you know the story, it's great. I read it. I like it. You read it as Odysseus. There's also the version where he's also known as Ulysses as well. I believe that's Roman. But Odysseus, Ulysses is the same story. And if you haven't read the book, you should. Now, don't listen. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I I'm not one of those people that say things like, hey, you know what? Let's watch this movie and play some of the book. As a bookworm, a certified bookworm, I have yet to have watched any film, okay, that can mirror a book or capture all of the details of its essence. And I don't think it's possible because the human mind is an amazing thing. And to capture all of those details, not the easiest. Not by far. And then you just can't capture the details because of the time. This movie's coming in at 2 hours and 53 minutes. I mean, if you're trying to get all of the details, and I mean all of the details, nobody's trying to spend their lives living in a movie theater, or, or nobody's trying to spend their lives like we might we might have to take this back to Lawrence of Arabia. Any of you know my reference, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking. We might have to do an intermission. All right, guys, we watched this movie for 3 hours, 15-minute break. Let's go back to it another 3 hours. You just can't. And then remember Lord of the Rings? Like, there's a version of the movie that's like 8 hours long. Is it gonna capture all the details? You just can't. You just can't capture all of the details. But it does have a lot of good details, like the Cyclops. Of course, there's the part where in the movie they don't talk to the Cyclops. And the book, Odysseus does talk to the Cyclops. And he goes, well, who are you? He's like, I'm nobody. He's like, oh, hi, nobody. I'm such and such. And then when he attacks him, when Odysseus attacks the Cyclops, his neighbors go, what's up? What's going on? Because you're screaming. He's like, it's nobody. It's nobody. And they're like, so, but why are you screaming though? I'm like, it's nobody. So the neighbors are like, ah, well, it's nobody. So that's the book. You know, that wasn't here, but hey, definitely. But you know how Odysseus was able to get out and him and his men close to it, you know, they had to dress up like the sheep. I believe in the book he rolled up from underneath on the belly of the sheep. Anyways, if you're looking for all the details, don't expect it. Okay, it's not there. I mean, it can give you the movie can give you I would say a pretty accurate understanding, but if you're using this for a test, don't. Okay. Anyways, let's talk about this movie. Let's talk about if I like it, if I love it. I actually have to rate it. So as you know, we have P in the movies, criticisms, hot sauce chart. At the tippy top, we have the Carolina Reaper. Nothing's hotter, nothing's better. Beneath that, we have the Ghost Pepper. It's hot. And beneath that, we have the Habanero. It's a solid feel-good movie. You'll like it. Your family will enjoy it. Solid date night stuff. Beneath that, we have the jalapeno. It's got some heat. Mm. But it's not really hitting on anything. And beneath that is the bell pepper. The bell pepper is just bland, and you're thinking about maybe possibly suing somebody to get some time back in your life that you wasted watching it. So let's see, how do I rate it? Acting, directing, writing. Ah, excuse me. I almost forgot you were there. I was thinking about this. On one hand, you're gonna spend a lot of quality time with your loved ones or the person you're going on a date with because it's 2 hours and 53 minutes. I think it's solid. I'm gonna give it a habanero. A habanero. It might change. I don't know. We'll see. So we have to justify our rating. So here comes Pete the Movies criticisms criteria. So at the bottom is, do we like it? Do we love it? Is it historically accurate? We already kind of talked about that. Well, we actually did already talk about that. Does it strike my emotions, keep my attention? What are the production elements, the directing? What is that like? The quality of acting, sound quality effects, and cinematography. That's Mrs. Favorite. Call on her so she can hear you. She needs to hear you. She needs to hear the fans. Sometimes creators need to hear their fans, okay? And she's one of them. So send their love out to her, okay? Now, did I love it? No. Did I like it? Yeah. I'm like, I appreciate the love for the craft. I do appreciate that. And does that count? It does. It does. So I'm gonna say I like it. You can see historically accurate. We already talked about the differences between a book and a film and the reason why you're never gonna get all the details. Okay. Read a book. Don't skirt around reading the book. Read the book. I already talked about Cyclops and Nobody. It has some funny parts. Okay. Didn't strike my emotions. For the most part, no. But I will say that there are some setups in there and some payoffs. Uh, they could possibly be stronger, but the setup, I think there are numerous setups and payoffs in this film. But I think the one that really struck my emotions the most was the pendant of Athena that Penelope gives to her husband, Odysseus. And he keeps that pendant on. And with that pendant, she's able to tell if people are lying or if people are telling the truth. So I do think they're really good. I do think that was a good setup and a good payoff because eventually, towards the end of the movie, because of course she gives him her pendant of Athena to wear at the beginning. In the end, he returns it. Okay, and seeing that what they've been through, that did evoke emotion. I was like, oh, husband reunited with wife. That was nice. I liked it. I enjoyed that. And it almost brought a tear to my, it didn't tear to my, not really. It's more like, oh, like that. Like that. Let's talk about production elements. Oh boy. So if you've been following movies, there's been a lot of people have been talking about, oh, Lupita, Lupita, Lupita. Why is she Helen of Troy? Some people really have some issues with that. So you cast the person who can bring the person to life the most. No, If Lupita did her thing, Lupita did her thing. But there's a lot of people that didn't like that. They had a problem with her being Helen. But okay, and so what about Circe? I mean, Circe looks like a middle-aged woman. But Circe is a goddess. She's a takes after her mother, who's a nymph, right? So, I mean, come on. So, to be honest with you, like, you're expecting 100% accuracy. These films never do. Okay? It's up to people to do their due diligence and to read the book. They bring essence. It's fun to see it come to life, but that's just not what happened. Okay. Um, Samantha Morton. Samantha did a good job as Circe. I really do. I was like, wow, okay. Now, would you say you're not going to cast Samantha Morton as Circe because she's middle-aged? Come on. In my opinion, her portrayal of Circe is one of the best performances in this film. Um, she did a great job. Am I going to complain? Oh, well, Circe is a god, so she shouldn't look more than maybe 24, 25 years old. The point of a story is to bring it to life, to breathe life into, in this case, a mythological character that many of us don't even believe to be real. And you know what? Samantha Morton did it. Lupita Nyong'o was a good Helen Troy. And also Clytemnestra. Damn, Clytemnestra was cold. Mm. But her husband did sacrifice. Oh, wait, you're just gonna have to watch the movie. You know how I feel about that. This film had a budget of $250 million. Okay, and its domestic opening was $124,500,000, and so internationally, that's $139,564,000. Worldwide, that's $264,064,000. So they've got their budget back, but but you and I both know, in order for this movie to be considered a success, it has to make 2 to 3 times its budget. Some will say 2.5 times. And I'm like, whoa, boy. But you know what? There was a lot of stuff moving against this movie, and a lot of people were thinking, oh my gosh, they're gonna have a weak box office opening. I don't know, that debut wasn't as weak as people thought it was gonna be. I'm looking at these numbers, and I think they're gonna get it. I think they're gonna get twice, 2.5 times minimum. They're gonna get it. I don't think this is gonna be the flop people are saying this is gonna be the flop. People are like, it's gonna be a flop. It's gonna be a flop. I'm not gonna go watch it. Ah, yeah, yeah, this is not accurate. Oh, the gosh, they never are. Okay? So this is people, this is Hollywood. Accuracy is not what Hollywood does. Okay? Okay? You want accuracy? Go to credible historians. This is Hollywood. They entertain. Okay? Just saying, these are facts. Anyways, let's tie this up. This was the production elements. Oh, they had so many places they filmed. Morocco, Italy, like they were in like quite a few places filming. Los Angeles, Iceland. Goodness, I think Iceland was there because when I watched the movie credits, I was like, oh goodness gracious, they filmed in a lot of places. So wow, so many different film crews and units. Good job putting it all together. There's only one thing I really have to say: quality of acting. The acting was pretty good. Now, I think Tom Holland could have brought it stronger though. I think so. Um, Stephanie wasn't wrong in that. Stephanie as in Stephanie Zacharick. Hopefully I said it correctly. If not, please do correct me nicely. Stephanie Zacharick is a film critic at Time. And I pay attention to what people say. But only after I've watched the film. Only after I've developed my own opinions. And Stephanie wasn't wrong. I was thinking this when I was watching, I was like, "Oh, Tom, you need to bring it more. You gotta bring it harder." But that also goes to the director. The director needs to really push that out. Christopher Nolan, why didn't he push that out of him? He's got the it factor. Otherwise, you never would have hired him, I'm sure, cast him for the part. But the acting could have been stronger, especially for playing the role of Telemachus, because when you weren't following Odysseus' journey or Penelope's journey, you were following his. And and Tom has it in him. He has that in him. I wanna see you do more, Tom. You're so good as an actor. Oof. Um, so some of the acting did fall flat, but we just, Tom was just this far away. He didn't need to go just a little further, just a little further, really, just a little further. Um, but overall, the acting was pretty good. It wasn't bad. And sound quality effects, interesting. This film was not on film, but when I was watching the film credits, I said, "Oh, you shot this on film. You actually have somebody in the dark." Or actually, it's not in the dark, because how you do it is like the film is like in this bag where the light cannot penetrate it, and a person has to like put their hands in the bag. They can't see what they're doing because if the film is exposed to light, messes everything up. Okay, so you can tell where Chris comes from. So this person has to be skilled enough to actually do everything by feel. See, that's a lot of practicing. That's a lot of practicing, but this person did a good job. They're professional. And probably they'll have a lot of that in Hollywood left. Those people are shooting on cameras nowadays. But anyways, there's a lot of you can see that there was a lot of work, a lot of time put into this, just setups and the payoffs. Cinematography is wonderful. Yeah, the production value is amazing. The production design is not bad, especially when it comes to the costumes, the locations, everything. And as far as story arcs are concerned, Telemachus goes on a journey and he does come out different, I think. I think he does come out being more able. In the beginning, he's blending in with the suitors, and then when he goes against the suitors, it's not good. But towards the end, he's definitely speaking out more, and his presence is different. And Odysseus does make a character arc, I would say. He goes to war and he becomes lost. He becomes lost, but he does find himself. Because if you know anything about the Lotus, when he gets to the Lotus, he's not remembering, and he's not remembering. We think all is Calypso, because Calypso in the book, they want to let him go. But if she really truly loved him, she's gonna let him go. She does. Right? So I think Calypso was right that Odysseus didn't want to remember. Odysseus is a soldier, an elite soldier going through crazy. Odysseus is a soldier who's going through crazy PTSD. Okay, and there's a lot of things he doesn't want to remember. The 10 years away and from the 10 years on the Trojan beach. Okay, getting away from his family. 10 years trying to get back home, and along the way trying to fight the gods. They say not one man will make it back home. And this is what he's told when he visits Hades. Not one. Not one. man, and he tries to get his soldiers back home. He tries, but he just can't go against the prophecies. The prophecy is a prophecy, and not one of those Ithacans make it home. It just doesn't happen. And he's trying to fight this fate, but he has to watch them die in some of the most gruesome manners. And he literally takes a mental break, a mental vacation with the lotus flower because he has to. He has to because if he doesn't, who knows, he might go insane. This was his version of like therapy. You know, and he's not the same and he's lost and you kind of wonder if Odysseus is gonna find himself again. And you know what? He does. He does. He finds himself again. And so this is a story of a man, a great king who became lost. And but in that, he finds a humility and takes on the form of a beggar. When Odysseus goes back to his castle in Ithaca, he could have said, "I'm gonna be in disguise to do the dress as this, that, or the other." But he's a beggar. He's choosing to be a beggar, a king, returning to his throne as a beggar. And that beggar besting all of the people and his all of the suitors who have been desecrating his home. He makes that swoop. So there is a character arc there. I think Nolan's writing is good and strong. I think it's solid writing. I do think it's solid. Okay. It makes a full circle. Now, it's Telemachus, he has Penelope. It's full circle. And the Vipers are gone. You can tell that Christopher Nolan put a lot into this. But for him, this is one of the highest box office debuts he's had, I think, in a decade. Yeah. So this is actually very much a success. So congratulations to Christopher Nolan. Congratulations to your crew. Matt Damon, hey, you did great. I thought you were really good at Odysseus. Honestly, I don't think they would have could have casted better for that part. Anne Hathaway. I think she did a really good job too. I think so. And then when Tom is up against more of the veterans in the game, his acting does improve. Um, I'm always rooting for Tom. Hi Tom. Hi Anne. Hey Chris. As a Christopher Nolan. Hey, there was a lot of effort. There's a lot of time put into this film. I appreciate it. I appreciate the time that was put into it. I appreciate the craft that was put into it from all angles, from the production design to music, pacing and timing. In the beginning, it's slow a little bit, but I think maybe perhaps it's deliberate. It's a deliberate slowness because that's what's happening to Odysseus. It's slow. It's laborious getting back home, right? And so somebody said, but why do we, the viewers, need to feel that? Here's an artistry, in my opinion. It's very deep and potentially risque because a lot of people just want the film, but considering the journey and the laboriousness of Odysseus' as a journey back home to Ithaca, in a way it fits. It does. I'm just saying. And I do think in the end, Odysseus does learn to maybe just listen to the gods and to fate. And because on his journey, he's like, must we always make a sacrifice? We gotta always pray. Should we pray? But no matter how hard he tried, the will of the gods was the will of the gods. And in the end, he does listen to the final bit of the prophecy. So Odysseus does grow from this. I will say that. This is the story of the Epic of Homer. If you haven't read the book, do read it. If you want to watch this film, watch it. I say watch it. I mean, I don't feel like I want to sue anybody, right? It's a solid movie, quite solid. Again, oh, hearty habanero. I'm gonna keep it there. Now, some people will say you should bring that lower. No, I'm not, and here's why. When filmmakers clearly put a lot into their craft, you have to take that into consideration when rating a film. Okay? Did some things fall flat? Yes. Could some things have could have been done better? Yes. But wasn't apparent that there was a lot of effort and work put into this? A lot of heart? Yes. And you have to respect that. I respect it. But don't take my opinion for it. There's always your opinion. Hey, I'm Miss M. And if you're not following, hey, what are you waiting for? Like, share, subscribe. I'm Miss M. And I'm about this space. See y'all later.